This is Michael Woodward, and this is Season 2, Episode 17 of the Jumblethink Podcast.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Jumblethink Podcast. We explore the ideas and dreams behind some of the leading entrepreneurs from around the world. Along the way, we will give you some tips and ideas of how you can chase your own big ideas and dreams and change the world around you. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing some insights on how, as dreamers, makers, innovators, and influencers, as people with big ideas and dreams, need to face the unknown and create something special. It's going to be super fun. More about that in a moment. On Monday's episode, our guest is Terry Ogburn. Here's a little taste of Monday's episode.
My name is Terry Ogburn. The business name is Ogburn's Business Solutions, and my role with the company is the lead coach. I help people understand the importance of how to work on their business rather than in it. Most businesses spend more time doing the technical side of the work, while if they were busy working on it, they have a better than a 90% chance of success. This dream started for me in 1985. It was after I had launched my air conditioning company and basically had made all the mistakes that a typical startup company would do, or business. And that is because I thought I could work on an air conditioner. I thought I knew how to run an air conditioning business. And when I realized that there was so much to it, in 1985, I decided to start helping small businesses understand the importance of putting infrastructures together, protocols, operation manuals, things like that.
Terry is a great guy, and it's a super fun episode. So make sure to swing on back and check out Monday's episode with Terry Ogburn. Now let's jump into today's episode all about the unknown. Hey there, welcome to the Jumblethink Podcast. My name is Michael Woodward. I am your host and so excited that you're along for today's episode. Most episodes, we have an incredible entrepreneur, a big dreamer, a big mover, shaker, world changer on the episode. But today is one of those episodes where we change it up and I get to give you some insights about a topic and how it impacts the world of dreamers, makers, innovators, and influencers. Today's topic is all about the unknown. We're going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff. Before we get going in today's episode, I want to make sure that you know how you can connect with us. There are several ways to do it. Swing on over to jumblethink.com. You can drop us a note on the contact page. You can also find links to all of our social channels, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can also find links to where you can subscribe to the podcast, places like Apple Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so many other great places. And lastly, we have a cool download we're giving away completely for free. It's basically about 4 ways you can know that you've found your dream. It's a fun little infographic. That means it's pretty and has great information. Swing on over to jumblethink.com. You'll see a little pop-up there and just toss in your email address. You'll get that free download. While you're there, make sure to swing on over to jumblethink.com/IdeaCamps. That's jumblethink.com/IdeaCamps. Idea Camps are right around the corner, and we want you to be a part of it. Simple to know about it. Drop us your email address and answer a simple question, and we'll get you on the list. Now let's jump into today's topic, which is all about the unknown. So today we're talking about the unknown, which is known to you because we've talked about it in the introduction. So at least for this part of the episode, we have one known, which is we're talking about the unknown. So the unknown is an interesting topic, and I want to back up first before we dive in and talk a little bit about how we got here, because it's an interesting story. When we moved into season 2 of the Jumblethink Podcast, I took a look at how we did the podcast, changed the format for our guests, and I also wanted to incorporate new episode types where I would get to share a little bit about my heart, talk about topics that are significant. And as I scheduled out through the first several months of the podcast, today's episode, I decided to talk about the unknown. What I didn't know when I scheduled a topic about the unknown on the podcast is that this would be such an important message even for me in this season of my life to talk about the unknown, because it's what I'm facing. I'm going to open up the doors to my personal life a little bit and share a story that's going on very much right now. And it happened this week. This week has been a week of highs and lows for me and our family. A lot of exciting things are happening, and that's a lot of fun. But we're facing an unknown. And the unknown is that recently we had a client of ours come and say, hey, we're making some changes with our company. We've used your agency, Woodward Design Group, for years, for several years, to build our web properties. And it's been a lot of fun. We love working with you, and we love working with them. And it's been a great journey. But they're bringing that journey to a close and doing something different for what they've got going on at their company, which is exciting. We're excited about their future and what they're creating. But for us, it pushes us into the unknown. Well, the first unknown is, how are we going to make up that income difference? Because it was a pretty substantial project and client. And so how do we make up that income difference? And that's kind of scary because we need the money to pay for our bills and the things we've got going on in our life. So how do we face that unknown of, like, where's the money coming from? The other thing it does is it forces us into the unknown of making this transition from Woodward Design Group into Jumblethink, moving away from the world of web design as we've done it and into the world of ideas and dreams and helping people go deeper. It's been a fun journey to create Jumblethink, but this unknown, this unexpected change is forcing us to move into something different, an unknown for us, and being able to step into chasing those big ideas and dreams. A great Greek philosopher once said, change is the only consistent. And the unknown is often caused by change. You're being forced or choosing to step into a new season, a new place that is unknown. Now, this isn't the first time that we've faced a change, a season of the unknown. I think back of our move from the West Coast to the East Coast and downsizing our team from a team of 12 employees and the uncertainty of that season and moving into the world of contractors and all of the changes of we're no longer in the same town or region as most of our clients. We're moving from the West Coast to be closer to family on the East Coast. The change of community, going into the unknown of what that would mean for us. And it's been several years since we've made that change now, but it forced us into experiencing the unknown of that change. And it's been really, really good. Often when we're facing the unknown, we need the foundation of faith. And the foundation of faith starts by looking back at the past and seeing how things have worked out. Now, I believe that's because there is a God who loves us and is pushing us into that new season, that new destiny, the new potential of what we could be and what we should be and what we could be doing. And he loves us, and he'll make sure that he moves these things together. But the unknown is often very painful. It's very hard because there's fear, there's uncertainty, there is this doubt, this fear. I've said that before, but this fear is really the underlying of the unknown, of stepping into it. Often the move of the unknown is forced by the unexpected. Could be a situation with work. It could be a situation with our family. It could be a situation with the weather lately that causes massive natural disasters, whether it's a mudslide or tornado or hurricane. The unknown is caused by the unexpected, and that changes us and changes our life and often changes the trajectory of where we're going. One of my favorite quotes, which I think really gets to the bottom of the different types of unknowns that we face, comes from Donald Rumsfeld, who was the Secretary of Defense under George W. Bush and a politician for as long as I can remember. And he said, there are known knowns. These are the things that we know. There are known unknowns. That is to say, there are things that we know we don't know, but there are also unknown unknowns. These are the things we don't know we don't know. So let's break that down. There are known knowns, there are known unknowns, and there are unknown unknowns. And that gives a good foundation for this conversation of discovery of the unknowns. You can often identify known knowns, and that's what we operate in every day. Those are the things that we face and we have certainty about. It's the status quo, the normal day of life. And then there are the known unknowns. Well, I know that I don't know this. Maybe it's something that you have to learn. Maybe it's a situation that's coming up. Maybe it's a situation you know you will encounter one day, but you don't know what that's actually going to be like. And you can kind of mentally and emotionally prepare for those things. You still have to adapt. You still have things that pop up that you just know that you knew that you didn't know, but you're dealing with the fallout from that and adapting, and that's a good thing. And then there are those things that are unknown unknowns. Those are things you don't expect, that you don't see coming, that you just have no clue about. And often these are the most scary to approach because there is no certainty. There is no place of comfort. There is no safety in these unknown unknowns. And you have to adapt. You have to change. You have to grow. You have to evolve through that process of dealing with the unknown unknowns. So there's this guy named Joseph Campbell who's written a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And from that, there is an article talking about the 17 stages of the hero's journey. What do heroes in the unknown have to do? Well, we can learn a lot from Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and especially around the divide between the known and the unknown. Of course, we're not going to cover all 17 stages today. That would take forever, and I don't think it's really relevant. We're just going to hit on a couple of the main things. And one of the first stages, the very first stage, is a call to adventure. And often we look at the unknown as a bad thing, like it's going to hurt us. But if we change that thought process, the mindset around it, and really start saying, this is a call to adventure, it really changes our perspective on it. And I love the word call because often I receive phone calls, as you probably do too, on your cell phone, and it simply says unknown. Maybe it's a bill collector. Maybe it's a telemarketer. Maybe it's a wrong number. Maybe it's a blocked number. You just don't know. And you have a choice. Are you going to pick up the phone and answer the unknown call, which could open up a whole mess of things that you want to deal with, or can you reject it? And often we reject the call from unknown. But in the hero's journey, when you want to walk into this place of really overcoming the unknown, you have to accept the call to adventure. And from there, you start moving from the known to the unknown. From there, there's a couple steps, but the next major step is what they call crossing the first threshold. And this is where you really step past your known limitations, past what you know your limits are. For your world, and start venturing into the unknown and dangerous realm for which the rules and limits that you're going to face are unknown. I have to mention the next phase because I think it's just a great image. Campbell calls it the belly of the whale. And of course, if you know the story of Jonah and the whale, I think the imagery probably comes from this. And it's simply where you've made the choice, you've jumped in, and now you've been swallowed by the whale, and things are maybe outside of your control. They're outside of the abilities you have. You don't have any capabilities to make the change that you want at this point. You're kind of along for the ride. You've said, I'm all in. And as you go through the belly of the whale, it causes a metamorphosis, just like a butterfly, and you begin to get changed. It changes your mindset, it changes your faith, it changes your very being, so that you're willing to fully step into this challenge of the unknown. Along the way at this point, there are a whole bunch of challenges and temptations and a lot of other steps I'm not going to get into, but all of a sudden you have this revelation. And you have basically the death of the old and the rebirth of the new. And that's a little bit of that place where you go, the old is done and the new is started. And this is where the transformation begins, and you begin moving into the destiny and dream and purposes you have. There's transformation, there's atonement, and then ultimately you return to the place of the known. All of a sudden, this journey of the unknown is over because you've stepped into a new place. This new place is known. It becomes familiar. And the hero's journey never stops. It's a circle, and it goes around and around and around. You start in the known, you move to the unknown, you go through the steps, and then you come back to the known. It's a beautiful picture. I would really encourage you to check it out. Another great story that gets into this is a book called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. If you've listened to this podcast, you know that I think you should read it if you are an idea machine, if you're a dreamer. And it's another interpretation of the same theme of the hero's journey from going from nobody into a somebody and having that transformation of the unknown. Okay, so that's good. We've laid a foundation here, and now we're going to go a little bit further. But I thought it might be good to pause here and define unknown now that we've talked about it a little bit. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines it as a place, situation, or thing that is not known about or understood. Explorers venturing off into the unknown, which we just talked about, in a situation that one is unfamiliar with. And this helps us move into the next part of this conversation. And that's the comparison of the known and the unknown. Known is safe, and unknown is uncertain. Known is comfortable. Unknown forces you to question things, to push past your boundaries, to get out of your comfort zone. Known is often easy because you're on autopilot, and the unknown is often hard and scary. The known is a flat line. It's the status quo. The unknown causes growth and change. The known can be stagnant and boring, and the unknown is an adventure in which you have to face. These are just some of the ways that known and unknown are different. You could go on and on for this list, but out of that, we know that there is a blessing to the unknown. It causes you to learn and grow. It causes new experiences that you wouldn't have otherwise had. It builds confidence. It builds faith. It pushes you into destiny and purpose. The unknown is scary and often ran from, but it is the place in which you become the person that you're designed to be. If we don't push into the unknown, we're going to never become the person, the destiny, the dream that we could become. So there's this guy named Simon Sinek. You probably know him from his book and his postings about Start With Why. He also talks a lot about millennials and the observations he has about that. But in the quest for the unknown, he made an incredible observation. I love it. Here's the quote. It says, "The challenge of the unknown future is so much more exciting than the stories of the accomplished past." I'm going to say that again. The challenge of the unknown future is so much more exciting than the stories of the accomplished past. We see this lived out around us all the time. We often look at the stories and accomplishments of the past, and those are amazing things. Those are the foundations for the future. Those are the bricks and mortar that set us up for a future of the unknown, but often we get trapped at that place. It's the victory we had in high school playing football, or the performance at Carnegie Hall when we were in high school, or it's the college accolade that we had, or the perfect career, or that first million that you made, or whatever it is. And we celebrate these stories of accomplished past, and that's awesome, but we cannot live there. The challenge of the unknown future is so much more exciting. I think that's so brilliant that Simon Sinek would say that and have that observation, because it's in that future adventure that we can start stepping into the possibilities, creating a world that is unknown, unexperienced, begin to change the status quo. It's in the unknown places that we begin to challenge ourselves to become the fullness of everything we were called to be. These are the blessings of the unknown. And I think that's so, so, so powerful. So how do we move forward? Well, there's 4 steps I've outlined here. And I'm going to go into each one a little bit. The first one is identifying fears. The second one is creating a vision. The third one is taking action. And the fourth one is to keep going. So let's talk about identifying fears. When we are stepping into the unknown, if we address the fears and change our mindset around the fears, it's going to become less of an obstacle. The unknown is filled with fears. They will come up again and again and again, but begin to identify them, address them. Don't let those fears sit in the dark places, because if the fears are hidden, you cannot face them. You have to slay the dragon of fears, because it will lay a trap that will keep pulling you back to the known. keep pulling you back to the status quo. And if you face the fears, if you say, this is a fear, this is a possible outcome, I may fail, things may not go the way I want, I may lose friends for standing up for what I believe in. When you face those fears and when you've outlined them, you can have the foundation to say, the dragons are slayed, I'm moving forward into my purpose and destiny. The second step, create a vision. This is where you begin to dream and imagine. When you face the unknown, when you remove the container of possibility and step into what could be, what if, then amazing things can begin to happen. I love that question. What if? What could be? So often we accept the norm because it's easy. It allows us to live in the river of constant flow with the status quo, whether it's the status quo in our workplace, the status quo in our community, or the status quo in our culture at the local or global levels. We have to create a vision that begins to question what if and what could be. That is the story in which you begin creating. That is the story that you're painting. The unknown is a picture of the possibilities that are approached and conquered. This vision, these dreams, these ideas that you have only come from a place of vision. I encourage you, write that vision down. What is it that you see? What if? What could be? Answer those questions and write a vision statement for yourself, a statement for the world you see, the family you see, the community you see, the businesses you see, the ideas you see. Write those down. What if and what could be? It's such a powerful thought and question. So we've moved from identifying our fears into creating that vision, and that vision is the foundation of overcome fears and into the possibilities of what could be and what if. The third step is take action. Ideas are often dead because they are never moved past the idea. You need to come up with a strategy. Take that vision. Start figuring out how to make it happen. What are the resources you need? Who are the people that you need to encounter and be a part of it? Start thinking and outlining all the different pieces, the little cogs and functions, the tools, the people, the ideas that have to come together to make your dream, your idea, a possibility. And then the final step is to keep going. I can guarantee you that in this hero's journey, in this journey into the unknown and back to the known, it will be often faced that you will have to question, do I want to keep going on? Do I want to keep pushing on this journey? Is this too hard? Is the cost worth the outcome? And I'm going to tell you that if you've identified a vision worth living and dying for, if you have envisioned a story that you want to create, when you've imagined the possibilities of what if and couldn't be, go back to that, because that's going to be the driving factor to help you keep going. Get amazing mentors, friends, and family members around this vision to help you keep going into the possibilities, into the realms of what you should be and could be doing. Perseverance is often the difference between those people who make it through and those people who return to the status quo. You've got to make that choice. Is this journey, is this my journey into the unknown worth it? I think it is. I think you were created for purpose. I think you were created for destiny, for the possibilities of the unknown, and those doors can be unlocked to you. But it's your call. It's your ideas. It's your dreams, and you have to make the choice on what you're going to do. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with another thought to start piquing your curiosity for our next episode, where I go into another topic. And that's the other facet of the unknown. We've talked about experiencing the unknown, your unknown, stepping into the unknown, the hero's journey. But one of the things that we haven't stepped into is the visionary side of the unknown. Visionaries have this ability to do what I call seeing the unknown, see what other people are missing, to engage into ideas and dreams and movements that others are missing. You can look throughout history, and I know it sounds super mystical and maybe even new agey or just super spiritual, but it's not, I promise you. This is about people like Steve Jobs or Martin Luther or Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, who are able to see things that were going on culturally with ideas and inventions and movements that others weren't able to engage or communicate yet. They were the forerunners into cultural and society change, or even business culture change, or small town changes. They were able to see and identify trends, ideas, movements, products that we all missed, and all of a sudden they're creating amazing things. So it's going to be a super fun episode. That's going to be in a couple weeks. But for today, I want to encourage you. Begin to search those unknowns, those places that are unexpected, or the journeys that are ahead. Begin to make the choices that you need to make to walk into that journey successfully. If you need a mentor, if you need some help, we're here to help. Swing on over to jumblethink.com, check out our contact page, drop us a note. We would love to be a part of your journey, to help you on that journey of discovering the unknown and walking into your destiny and purpose. We believe that you were created for amazing things, and we want to be a part of that journey. On Monday, our guest is Terry Ogburn. It's going to be a fun episode, so make sure to check out that episode this Monday. As we wrap up today's episode, I would love to hear your stories of how you've encountered the unknown and what the outcome was. Swing on over to jumblethink.com, drop us a note on the contact page. Check out Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Drop us a message there and let us know how you're facing your unknown. And let's do this together. It's always better when we face the unknown together. We can encourage each other and help each other on this journey. So make sure you check out one of those places. We can't wait to hear your stories and be a part of your journey of chasing the unknown. Thanks again for tuning in. Now get out there and chase those big ideas and dreams and change the world around you.
Vous êtes une autre personne. Les mères de famille, les enfants peuvent également prendre un moment revitalisant dans quelques mois, lorsque vous aurez bien saisi la technique et que vous serez maître de votre corps. Vous pourrez vous décontracter même en travaillant.